What's going on, you guys? It's your Huggable Hipster here, and welcome back to another review. Oh, another game is gone. Another game has soon seen the dust of my ever-forbidden casket. I'm just being over dramatic. Listen, the game is gone, and now we're gonna go on to a new one, and another new one, and a new one, and a new one. So do not fret, my little darlings. It's kind of funny, actually. I really hope it doesn't happen when the video is occurring, but there is someone shooting guns outside my house, so that's always fun. Perfect for Halloween, right? Maybe you're seeing the ghost of Ariel's past. Just as obnoxious in death as I am in life. Perfect. Today's review is going to be on the game Arya. Arya was really interesting, and it's a game I wanted to play for a while. Ever since I saw Daz Games play it and how, you know, spooked out he got, I was like, okay, this is gonna be good. There are 3 stories in this game, and they all revolve around her. Now, with this game, I do have to say, spoiler alert, spoiler everything. In every review that I do, there's always a chance of spoilers. So as you guys can tell in the, in the title, there's just a spoiler alert. I try not to get too many spoilers away, just as an FYI, because I still want you guys to enjoy the game. You know, if you guys want to know a full-on review before you play the game and you're like me and you don't care necessarily, it depends on the game. If there are spoilers, then by all means, go ahead, go for it. Spoiler your ass away. But if you don't want to hear it and you'd rather play the game and you'd rather wait, then by all means go download it. It'll be in the description. No, this is not sponsored, by the way. Any link that I put down there, I will let you guys know if it is sponsored. This game, I believe it's $14, $14.99 or something like that. It's a good game. I got it on the summer sale. Absolutely incredible. So the stories of our 3 protagonists all revolve around her, Arya. In her unstable, fragile mind, Arya is overcome with sadness that clings to her like dust to an old home. It's really actually quite magnificent the way the character was written, I think, because she is the glue that holds these 3 very separate yet kindred spirits together. Much like a fingerprint, death is unique, and Arya's death is one of the more fascinating that I've come across in a horror game. Okay. Arya's ghost takes us through a journey that is rooted in Thai legends, lies, and friends who just need more answers. I swear, this is going to be the entire video. I'm going to leave it in and not put it in as bloopers because it's just at this point it's throughout the entire video and I can't seem to escape the gunshots. That's a sentence I never thought I'd say. So everything is interwoven, but would you be quiet? So Arya brings back the horror of the 90s with new age graphics, putting us into this abandoned hospital in search for our missing friend, Arya. This game deals with 3 different perspectives. We first go at it from the perspective of Arya's friend, Marissa. Then we go from the perspective of the security guard of the hospital, Rama. Then a little kid, well, okay, not so much a little kid, because I don't know if you can gamble as a little kid, but then we go from the perspective of a young adult named Boone, who is trying to pay off his gambling debt. Marissa's perspective is the one that is the glue that holds all of these perspectives together. We find out the most, we see the most notes, and we see the most visually stunning themes, I feel, whenever we play as Marissa. Not that the other 2 don't really have visually stunning themes. I just feel like Marissa, since it's Arya's friend, you're going to see more as playing as her. So it would seem to the player that going into this game that Marissa is going on this wild goose chase for unachievable answers, but fear not, wandering gamer, she gets more than she ever wanted in terms of answers that she needed, and some unwanted ones as well. So, going into an abandoned hospital in Bangkok sounds fun, right? Marissa receives a text message from Arya, who has disappeared for a year now. Spoiler alert, she's dead. So we're on a wild goose chase. We technically are on a wild goose chase following the ghost of Arya. Sounds so morbid, but it's so just, it's true in this universe. It's true. We're just going on a wild ghost chase following her ghost. And Marissa is also being chased by a necromancer named Jit, and Jit, for all intents and purposes, is our main antagonist in this game. Now, continuing on the story, you meet a security guard named Rama. Rama is the hospital security guard who has to run away as well from Jit. Jit does a lot of running after people in this game. So, you know, it's kind of like Outlast to an extent. You can only run and hide. Well, actually, you can't even hide in this game. You can only run. So, half of Outlast. There's no combat. There's no anything like that. You're literally just running from Jit, trying to find the secrets that unlock Arya's mysterious death. It's very good in the way that it's constructed, but I feel like, you know, you should be able to hide in a closet somewhere, you know. Now, as usual, you see notes that clarify the game and the story and the actions that the characters are taking, and including Arya's, there is a lot of substance. There's a lot of meat within the game notes wise when it comes to Arya, which is really, really cool. I like that they did that. Now, unlike a lot of horror games notes, these aren't cliche or unimportant to the game. They actually bring the story and hold meaning and bring everything to life. You know, they bring life to the story. They kind of form and mold the way the player sees the game, if that makes sense. So they go about it in a rather logical way, where when you see a note, that thing happens that was in the note. Like, you experience the note within the game, if that makes sense. It's so cool, like the way that they did, like there's a certain part of the game, this wasn't in the article, by the way, but there was a certain part of the game where you read a note and you can hear the person breathing. Like, she describes an asthmatic person dying, and I'm like, oh, that's creepy. And then you actually like hear the asthmatic person in the room, and I'm like, oh, this actually, like, it got me creeped out. Like, it was really, really well done. I feel like more people would actually go the length to read the notes if they were incorporated in that way, and they actually actively act out the scenario that is in the notes. Like, I feel like that would be more immersive for the player too. Now, going on in the game, we meet our lovely character Boone. Boone is here because he needs to pay off his gambling debt. Seriously, he's got a bone to pick with some ghosts. Now, in order to pay back his debt, Boone has to go into this hospital, and you actively go as him in order to pay off said debt, clear your name, make sure you don't have anything lingering over your head, and in order to do so, you have to take pictures of graffiti, light a candle, you know, lighting a few incense, among summoning a few spirits, you know, all the ordinary things that come along with going into an abandoned hospital. These characters bring to life our main protagonist, Arya, ironically enough, you know, because she's already dead, so you can't bring her back to life anymore. Dang, best friends until the end, right? That's what all, you know, the average white girls say, you know, oh my god, twinsies, hashtag, let's go out for a s'mores and a smoothie, which, you know, never happens. When it closes on the last few chapters of the game, it becomes very eerie to go through, like Silent Hill eerie, and I loved it. I loved it so much. Oh my god, being chased by spirits, my favorite pastime. The game at certain points really reminded me of Silent Hill 3 in the way that the colors, the ambiance, the way the peeling back of the walls was reenacted. And it's not that they actively like peel back the walls, because I feel like, hello, copyright issue, hello, but at the same token, they really made it so creepy to go through in this last couple of chapters, finding out that Arya is a misanthrope who has manic depressive bipolar disorder. That plays a huge part in this game. Like, a huge part. And the fact that you're seeing all of the imagery coincide with that diagnosis that she got, it's absolutely brilliant. At a certain point, Marissa then finds the body of Arya. She goes unconscious, like any good friend would, because, you know, I don't know why you wouldn't go unconscious if you saw your friend dead in a hospital with a nail in her forehead. A lot that you actually witness whenever you're going through Marissa's unconscious mind while she's, you know, kind of lying there on the floor, you know, not being responsive at all, and you are seeing and hearing a lot of the imagery that Arya is giving to you with her arguments that she had with a sordid past lover named Sorn, and all of her different arguments that she had with Marissa, and it just goes back and forth between Sorn and Marissa, and I feel like that's really interesting as well. And for anyone who plays this game, please be aware, trigger warning. Seriously, there is some imagery in this game that is, it's, even for me, it's a little bit questionable. So just be prepared. If you ever play this game, just a trigger warning. After viewing Arya hang herself at a certain point within this kind of level that you're experiencing through the mentality of Marissa's unconscious mind, you see Arya hang herself, and she then turns into this vengeful ghost, because what's better than, you know, than a friend dying? You upgrade, you level up. Vengeful ghost, achievement unlocked. She turns into this vengeful ghost that she believes no one loves her, and this is when stuff gets, like, you thought that was creepy before. This is just, it takes it up another notch. Now we go back to Rama's perspective, and with Rama's perspective, he encounters the body of Arya and the unconscious Marissa. See how things are starting to unfold and kind of, you know, intertwine together, if you will. As Rama, you can actually pull the nail, which I referenced before. You can pull the nail from Arya's head, which in turn allows her spirit to go free. And then you see a kind of a screeching black blob of ghost goo. It's not even ghost goo. It's just like a puff of smoke that just exits the room really quickly. This one was actually fascinating because there is a term in Japanese lore called ikuro. Ikuro is basically a living dead person to an extent. Basically means living ghost, and this is where in the history of Japan, if you have ikuro, your soul is basically detached from you even though you are still living. I came across this in my research when I was looking up Thai legends and when I was looking up different meanings that this nail could possibly have. Even though there are notes on it, I wanted to look further into it, and I looked in the history of necromancers, and ikuro is fascinating because it is the separation of the soul from the body. It's the disembodied spirit that leaves the body of the living person, and while Arya's spirit was literally trapped by a nail in the head from the necromancer that killed her, ikuro explains kind of her detachment from life, if you will, from the people around her, from her lover, from her friend, from everybody. At the end of the game, Marissa awakens to find the whole hospital is burning. Kind of reminds me of the, Emily Wants to Play 2, where we had to get out of the burning places. I swear, a lot of games just incorporate fire as a way to just piss us off because and I'm not saying that to be bitter, I'm just saying that because you know you have a certain limited amount of time, very limited amount of time to get out of that place, and if you don't, you either have to start the level all over again or you have to just, it's a pain in my ass, okay? I'm bitter for no reason. Arya, however, wants to stop Marissa from leaving. You can never leave. You're mine. Monica only. With her long black hair and all, trying to kill the one person who was there for her in life. And don't worry, you actually escape with the two other people who your story intertwined with. So you're A-okay. Now there are two different endings, by the way, to this game. You can either get the one where Jit lives or Jit the necromancer dies. So you have an option to kill him in the game once he comes at you. Like while you're as Rama, you can actually kill him. So you have that choice of where, like, at the end of the game, have Jit die and you don't see him there, or Jit is basically at the edge of like of the hospital, like sitting down with his hands in his lap, and he's just like it's not that much of a different ending, but it's, you know, small enough that you achievement hunters out there can also get the achievement as well to get the choice that Jit lives or Jit dies. So let's lay things to rest. And overall, I thought this game was fantastic. I thought that there was a lot to this game that I couldn't really cover in a review since, like I said, I don't want to give too many spoilers away because I want you guys to be able to enjoy it playing it on your own. Or like I said, if you like spoilers, this game transported me back to when horror was legitimately unpredictable and gruesome. I mean, the notes were fantastic, the story was gut-wrenching, and the gameplay had little hiccups. There were little hiccups here and there, you know, there were a little bit, you know, stalls and stops and starts and all that kind of thing, and the jumping mechanism was just ghastly. But there's not enough for me to be able to go full on in depth, like, oh my god, these controls. Now, there wasn't, like, too much bad controls for me to really hate on it. Marissa now knows the secret of her dearly departed friend Rama. Through his journey has some clarity, and Boone, he has his debt paid off, so good. And Arya still holds a pain in her heart that only a timeless infinity can really heal. But you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you all like my face and what I do, please be sure to subscribe and hit that bell down below because I make videos every Monday, Wednesday, and double uploads on Friday. And be sure to stay casually nerdy. I will see you all in the next video. Peace.